How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm decent, thanks. Yeah. Where are you at the moment? Are you?
I'm currently in Greece. Yeah.
Oh, blimey. Yeah.
How about you?
I'm in London.
Nice.
At home.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, happy to have you on the project. You're a Bath and Europe favorite after all. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Sam. I have actually just finished at Bath Uni. I did a degree in architecture, but
Nice.
I make a fair amount of music. So I thought, yeah, I'd get in touch and
Yeah, of course. Yeah, congrats on graduating. What do you
cheers.
have to
Yeah.
say about that whole experience, graduating and
Oh,
yeah.
not as much as I feel like I should have.
Yeah.
Um, It's been a weird one. It's really weird just graduating in lockdown and just, complete like anticlimax.
Yeah.
Um, but it's been nice. Like I've made, I've had some good times in lockdown.
That's good.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
plenty of time for music now, with the
yeah,
degree out of the
exactly.
way and Corona, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
You've recently released a
exactly.
couple singles, Unboyfriend and Waiting on Your Love, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah,
I'd put them on your biz list if I was still head of music. I'm hoping the new one will put them as well. Do you want
yeah,
to
yeah,
tell me more about them, their meaning, how they were
yeah.
made, and so on?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Waiting Your Love and Unboyfriend. They're like two tracks of mine that I've released as part of like an EP that I'm currently just making on the go. I guess that's how I roll. It's just because like I produce all the music from my bedroom and it's all just recorded and written in there, and I just release it as I go. So yeah, those are the most recent singles out. Um, yeah.
What's the meaning behind boyfriend? It's an interesting
Um,
one.
yeah, it's quite bold. Um, nah, I kind of went through quite a weird relationship, um, and it was really tough to kind of like find my own place in it and like draw on a balance that wasn't really there. So yeah, it's a song just about at the time what I was feeling, and I wasn't even able to like stand my ground at that point. So I guess
Yeah.
the song conveys a lot of confusion I had at the time, um, and yeah, trying to gain your own like power and independence in a relationship that isn't even a relationship. It was pretty weird,
Yeah, no,
pretty
it's
weird one.
interesting.
Yeah.
So you said they're off the upcoming EP. Like what has been the inspiration behind, you know, the whole project, I guess? Because I remember from your previous one, you had like this whole long distance theme.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Well, it all went wrong. Um, so I think that like yeah, it's been a weird one because it's obviously like four tracks that were very like quite romantic and quite like calm, I guess. Um, and then it's been like it's kind of all flipped on its head since.
Hmm.
And I say since, but I'm still kind of like writing. So, I'm still releasing songs that I might have written like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So it's quite kind of weird releasing Unboyfriend as such a like quite
Yeah.
a bold track, and like I no longer really feel as um emotional about it all.
That's good though, because you have to kind of sit on it to see if it's worth releasing. Because maybe when you were
Yeah,
feeling it, maybe it wouldn't have been as like you would
no,
have the guts to release it at that time. I don't know, maybe. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's definitely a case of like refining what I had to say, I feel.
yeah.
I feel
Well,
like
I can sense a lot of like different musical influences and genres in your sound.
mm,
So talk me through them. And like, how would you describe
oh
the
sure.
music?
Yeah. There's got to be some John Mayer in there.
Hmm.
I started
Yeah.
um playing guitar when I was about 11. Um, my dad plays guitar, and I was kind of like, I had this real mission to also learn it. Um, and then found like John Mayer's music at about 13, and that has always just been a huge like, whether it's like, I go in phases of loving his stuff and listen to it all the
Yeah.
time, or it's more in the background, but it's always there, and that's a huge influence. And Tom Misch as well is a big one.
Yeah.
Kind of music at about like 18, and that just like blew my mind.
Yeah.
Definitely inspired a lot of like the home production kind of style.
Definitely.
And don't know. I think with each track I release, there's different influences in all of them. Um, and I feel like with some of the more experimental stuff I've done as well, it's like draws on a lot of like unfamiliar influences for people.
Mhm.
Lots of like choral stuff, um, like Take Six and Jacob Collier and stuff that
I
some
love
people
Jacob
might.
Collier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so how would you describe your sound? Like, are you still like searching for it in a way, or do you have like an idea of like if you had to put yourself in like? Obviously, a lot of musicians don't like that question because they don't want
No,
to put
as a
themselves in.
genre.
Yeah, because it's like
Yeah.
it's very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know because I think only until recently I found like when I send my music off to places and try
Yeah,
and like describe it, it's really hard. But I feel like indie pop is quite a good way of describing
yeah,
it because it's definitely pop, but it's also not like, Ed Sheeran,
yeah,
uh, Anne Marie, like,
definitely. Yeah, I can even
um,
I'm a
yeah.
big R&B fan, so I can even like sense those kind of like
Mm.
stuff in it. And
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, this whole thing of like self-producing in your bedroom gives me a lot of like Steve
Mm.
Lacy vibes. Just
Yeah,
yeah,
yes.
like
Oh,
that
I love
that kind of yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely becoming a big thing. Like in the last few years,
yeah,
people have just taken up with that, and like it's really cool to see that like happening more
yeah.
frequently.
Like Billie Eilish just blew up this way, so
Mm.
you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, definitely. Well, talking about all these artists, like, what are you currently listening to?
Oh, I don't know. I find it hard in lockdown to really get into an artist. And
Yeah,
I don't
like
know whether
an album, like
because
something new. I don't know.
yeah, hmm. I've been listening to this album called Rainbow Valley by Matt Corby recently a lot.
Mhm.
That's really nice. And I've also been into quite a lot of like Mahalia.
Oh, I love
Um,
Mahalia. I got free
yeah.
tickets to see her in Bristol because of radio.
Oh, sick. Was that before lockdown?
Yeah, yeah, so good.
Oh, nice. Was
It's
she
amazing.
good?
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really like her songs. Like, yeah, found her on like J.K. Collier's single,
yeah,
and I was like, oh, what is this? It sounds sick. And then like found all her new kind of like her newer singles. Um, yeah, she's really cool. I'm trying to like think. I can't really remember the couple of songs.
this is fine. If you want any more, just check out the series. I have a bunch of people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
um. Okay, so another question I had: how did you manage to combine like your degree with uni life and pursuing music on the side?
Poorly. Um, I feel like I spent a lot of my uni kind of literally in the middle between the architecture and the music. The course is like what or was like very time consuming, quite
Yeah,
intense, and are quite like mentally draining as well. It wasn't just something that you could leave uni at 6 and like shut off like it'd often be like at the back of your mind.
yeah,
Um, so that was really hard, and I feel like I definitely could have done a little more to like invest in my music, because ultimately it is just a degree, and it's not the be all and end all. But I had some like, I mean, I loved coming on URB. Like that was
yeah,
always such a
yeah,
like refreshing like moment just to like leave studio with my guitar, walk over and do like an hour in studio with you guys. That was always really nice.
Did you do
Um,
a music society?
I did in my first few years, and then it just became like something I just didn't feel I had the energy to like.
Yeah,
It was especially by fourth year when it was just so intense and like draining, and I'd leave studio whatever and just want to go home and like curl up on a ball and just eat dinner and go to bed. Like, I found that really hard. So I'm definitely looking forward now that like
yeah,
I finished the degree that I can actually like really settle in with some
yeah.
musicians.
So
Yeah.
what's the next step? Like focusing on the music or looking to grad jobs or what do you wanna
Wow. Yeah, I'm moving out to Manchester at the beginning
Oh,
of September, which is a big move. I'm quite excited for
damn.
that. So that's good. I mean, I'm searching for a job as well, but that's yet to be
Yeah.
something that's happening. Um, so maybe that's something that might happen in the next few months. Um, Finally start earning again. But no, I've got all sorts on at the moment. I've got a few more kind of singles off that EP that are yet to come out.
Yeah.
like working with a few artists, producing their own tracks, which is really fun, really good fun.
That's really
I
nice.
guess that's the benefit of like being able to produce as well. It's not just about releasing your own music. Like, yeah,
Yeah, that's dope.
really missing live shows as well. Really, really looking forward to like, even if it's just open mics or something. Like, get me on a stage. I want to be playing.
Yeah, I feel that. I miss going to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, a central like point of this whole interview series has been, how creativity can like flourish in a way during challenging times. I guess my question is, how has your creative process been affected by, everything that's been going on and hasn't been going on, I guess?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. I feel like the whole world has just slowed down, which is
Mm.
kind of weird, but also good. I feel like there's been a lot more time of like reflection, and I find it a lot easier to like convince myself to sit down at the desk and actually work, because you get in this rut where you're just sat on your phone scrolling for like hours for what to do. And I feel like it's good to just be like, well, I'm in my bedroom and I've got my music stuff here,
Yeah,
so let's just sit down and do something. Yeah,
I
it
feel that, yeah.
not that that was easy at first. Like, I feel like the first few months of lockdown, especially between the course and everything, like it was just so hard to like
Yeah, I can
actually put any
imagine.
in the music. But yeah, I feel like these days I'm actually quite comfortable just settling into the eyes of my bedroom and make
Yeah.
some music.
Um, a question I'd like to ask is, like, do you have any special moments that you look back to and, like, have made you realize that, this is what you want to do, and, like, when it comes to music, it makes you kind of keep going?
In lockdown or just in
No, in
general?
general, like, when you
Mm,
feel like, oh, I can't do this, like, anymore, and then you remember, like, that
yeah.
moment, like, that's how it felt.
Yeah, I feel like when I release stuff, it's really like that's really refreshing,
Mm-hmm.
because by the time I've like mixed and mastered a track and sent it off, whatever, and done all the boring admin, like I'm so drained and like unmotivated, and I sit there
Yeah,
kind of moping around, like, and I forget that it's even coming out. And by the time the single drops or something, I have all these like amazing messages from
yeah,
like friends and people listening that I might not even know. And it's so like fulfilling and wholesome to like have that, and it is exactly that, as you said. It like
yeah,
reminds you that it's worth doing.
yeah,
Um, and that's been nice as well, because like previously I've only released singles maybe every 3 months or something, and now that I'm actually able to do stuff monthly, it's like you get traction for yourself as well. It feels
yeah.
like every single you're releasing is like building up towards something, which is nice.
Definitely. And that's the biggest struggle with like upcoming musicians, like not giving up because it's tough, because you can't just
Mm.
like blow up overnight or whatever.
I know, yeah.
Unless you're on TikTok, try going on TikTok.
I should try to. I've heard a lot of good things about TikTok, so yeah.
Yeah, no, like a lot of the artists that I've interviewed in this project have been from there, and honestly, I
Really?
recommend 100%. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
you never know where it can, lead you. Um,
yeah.
yeah. So last question, and I think I may already know the answer to it. But
Mm.
what are you looking most forward to now that things are starting to get back to kind of normal?
Yeah, I think for my music, it's the live
Yeah,
performances. Like,
yep,
it really is. Like, I didn't make enough of it in my time at uni and stuff, and now that that's not there at all, I'm like, I actually really, really miss that, and building up towards a gig, and rounding up everyone to come, and seeing new faces when you're there as well. Um,
definitely.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah.
Thank you, and looking forward to the EP. When is it coming out? Do you know, or still working
I
towards?
don't know. I'm hoping to release like the next single mid-September. So it might be like November time by the whole thing's finished.
Cool.
Um, yeah, we'll just have to see. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah, can't wait. And thank you.
yeah.
And
Thanks,
good luck
everyone.
with everything.